Oh, well, we may as well we'll start. You got any injury updates? Steph, Nico, anyone else you want to mention?
Yeah, I'll let Alex fill you in with all of the glorious details. What I would tell you is that Jordy Delem is the bad news. That is an ACL. It will require surgery. So the next couple of weeks, we're just getting him ready for that. The good news from last night was that Steph, it looked like it was going to be a significant injury, but it is going to be termed as a sprained knee. Again, you'll have to talk to the doctors for the exact medical thing, but there is no ACL damage in Steph's knee, which is the good news. Now, it is a significant sprained knee, and something with, the joint and this and that, but, 4 to 6 weeks is a lot better than 8 to 9 months. So we are extremely pleased about that. And then as far as Nico is concerned, he still has that inflammation in his knee. He's on anti-inflammatories. We're trying to calm that down as much as we can. Not sure if he's going to make this game. He'll remain day to day, just, whenever he can play, whenever the inflammation is down, he will step back out on the field.
Just any update on Josh Atencio?
Not going to make it for this game. Still a little struggling with the quad, so we'll hold him out just for safety's sake.
Thanks.
All right, guys, we'll open it up from here. If you have a question, you don't need to wait for me to call on you, but just go ahead and ask.
All right. Hi, Brian. Can you talk about the next man up for Frei and for Jordy and for Nico? How does it change the game on Sunday, especially considering LAFC maybe getting back some of their main players?
Well, it doesn't really change anything. I mean, that's been kind of our mantra for as long as I've been here. I mean, we've missed big players in the past due to injury, due to international duty, various reasons. And the next guy has to, just step forward and understand his role and do the best he can to help the team win. I mean, Jordy Delem has been with this club for a long time. We're going to miss him, but Danny Leva can fill in, Josh can fill in. Nico's a big part of our club, but Kellen Rowe, Christian, JP, they've all filled in. Steph has obviously been a big part of our team, but Stefan Cleveland and Spencer Ritchie are two guys that I have total confidence in, and we will just, keep going forward.
Coach, you mentioned Danny now, and also Ethan. That was just the second time the Sounders started two teenagers, in franchise history. What do you make of their performances?
They were okay within my expectations. I mean, it was a little bit of a rough run out for Ethan. I mean, I think he was, that's a big game for him. I think Danny did well. I mean, there were some moments that, he needed to do a bit cleaner, but look, those two kids are good kids. They're going to be good pros. That was a tough place to play. And, again, in Danny's defense, it's, he's a little more comfortable. Maybe he's had a few more games. For Ethan, it was tough because we went 3-4-3 and, he is at his natural position. What has he been training with? So both of them did well.
Also, have you made a decision on which goalkeeper you would start on Sunday?
Yes, I have.
And?
Well, I'm not going to give away my lineup to, the opponent unless Alex wants me to tell you guys. I mean,
no, I'm good, boss.
It's going to be either Spencer Ritchie or Steph Cleveland, one of the two.
Got it.
Good. Thanks for clearing that up.
Hi, Brian. With that, though, when you have two players Spencer's new, but when you have a player like Steph that you haven't Cleveland that you haven't seen play in live action? I mean, how do you make those types of decisions?
Well, Tommy's seen him every day in training, and I think Stefan Cleveland actually has a victory over LAFC on his resume. Spencer has, full year of starting goalkeeper in MLS play for Cincinnati. So, I mean, we've seen them play. So, Jade, I rely heavily on Tommy's expertise, but we will make a good decision. They're both good goalkeepers, and, we'll be confident that they can do the job.
Coach, I feel like in some ways Steph's injury in kind of a weird way kind of underlines how durable he's been for you guys for so long. Can you just kind of speak to, I don't know, how nice it's been and how crucial it's been to have him to lean upon going back years and years and years of this?
Yeah. Matt, good question. Again, I lean on the crack statistical staff that we have at the Sounders, but what is it, 7 years for Steph now? 6 at least? 7?
2014 was his
that's
first
a long
season.
time. Yeah. So that's a long time, Matt, and we have been so used to Steph coming up with big saves in critical moments, and he's done such a good job for the club. But yeah, sometimes you almost take it for granted that he's here. And, he has been durable. I mean, he had that one major injury when he was in Toronto, but he has been very durable and very good for this club.
Hey, Brian, Nico here. I'm kind of multitasking here, so I hope this didn't get asked already. But obviously, you got Richie in Cleveland there. Is there a specific goalkeeper you're leaning towards, or that maybe look more impressive or more ready to kind of take on the role?
Hey, Nico, I'm gonna step in for Brian there. That's already been asked, and I'll get you the audio after this call.
My apologies.
Next question, guys.
With
Coach.
Go ahead.
Oh, Coach, this is Alonso. Coach, besides the formation and the players that you use, this team transmit a feeling of imposing itself on the rival. What do you think is the situation happens? Because the counter defense, because more people in the midfielder?
Well, I'm not so sure that we impose ourselves on every opponent. Remember, even in the first game, Minnesota, came out and, played pretty well in the first half, and then we certainly imposed our will on them in the second half. The game against San Jose, Christian scored a great goal. Then we held on. I mean, they were putting us under pressure. So again, MLS is a hard league. And what I would say, how I would answer your question is, sometimes you can't impose your will on every single team for 90 minutes at a time. I certainly would love that if that happened. But, what I would say about this group of players is they never not believe that they can win games, or they never not, find a way to, to score the next goal or block a shot or do something to keep the game in our favor. I think that's the calling card of this team. They never quit, and they're very good at finding different ways to win. You can play beautiful soccer, and some of the goals we scored earlier in the year, the goals we scored against the Galaxy. I mean, we've scored some really beautiful goals. Christian's goal was very, very good. I mean, you watch that goal. I mean, it was his left foot. But at the same time, the determination to keep a clean sheet, the determination not to allow our opponent to score goals. I mean, that's just as impressive to me.
And you had mentioned the with the injuries. If we could we go back to that for a second. Have you spoken to Steph and Jordy? I mean, how are their spirits? I guess at this moment, don't want to read too much into the tweets that they sent last night.
Well, they were obviously, when the injuries first occur, it's very hard for athletes to look, it's a significant injury, Jada, but their teammates helped out, try to keep them in as good a spirits as they can. Yes, I've spoken to both of them after the game and at training, and it's going to be a long recovery for Jordy Delem, but today he was sitting next to Jordan Morris, and so Jordan was telling him, okay, look, this is what's going to be, and this is my experiences. With Steph, it's the same. It's not an ACL, but when those guys come together like that, they help each other out. They give them their own version of their own personal experiences. It helps you kind of get over that initial feeling of, anxiety, shock, sadness that the player's actually injured, because no player wants to be injured. So I think in that sense, again, the locker room, the closeness of the guys in the locker room is really a big help when guys go down injured.
Coach, despite these injuries, you guys have had a hell of a start. Unfortunately, a lot of fans haven't been there in person to watch it, but we're seeing the governor start to loosen restrictions a little bit to eventually get more fans in the stands. And I'm sure your team is working out logistically how to make that happen. But what will that mean just for you to have Sounders, that stadium near full again?
Yeah, I mean, Alex again can figure out all the details, but I, as a Seattle, born and raised in Seattle guy, I've seen 70,000 people for a cup final, witnessed the games against Portland, been at exhibition games against Barcelona. It's great to have a full stadium, and the front office is working very hard, but very safely, to open up the stadium so that we all stay safe and people can be back in the building. So, it's great for me.
Hey, Coach, we've all seen Steph's leadership over the years. What will you miss most about having that leadership on the field? I mean, we see him talk to the team before the games, and he's talking to us after the games. He almost seems like a coach on the field.
Yeah, I think the goalkeepers are always a secondary coach on the field, because they see everything. Everything's in front of them, so that's part of their job. And again, whether it's Spencer or whether it's Stefan Cleveland, I mean, those expectations will trickle down to them. They'll have to be the last set of eyes, and they have to communicate well, and they'll do the same type of leadership. Granted, it's not Steph Frei, but we'll be okay there. And look, Steph's going to be in the locker room before the game. He can still provide leadership in many different ways, even when he's injured.
Hey, Coach, turning to the LAFC game, they're off to a bit of a slow start. There's no obviously shortage of talking points in a rivalry game, but curious to what you've told the team about this version of LAFC, how they're going to be motivated to come in here and get a result and move up the standings.
Well, it's going to be with every team, because we actually have a target on our back in the sense that we're in first place. So, I mean, whether it's LAFC or Atlanta or Austin or, LA Galaxy or Vancouver, they're coming, because we've actually started off very well. Bob Bradley, tremendous coach. I mean, he knows exactly what to do to try and win MLS games. So I don't think that there's any, underlying story, messages, whatever. A lot of teams are going to come after us. And so the message was that this morning, that yes, feel good about yourself. It's another great victory. San Jose, great, everything good. We'll make some adjustments here or there, but it doesn't get any easier. You've got LAFC on the weekend. So that's the message.
Hey, Brian. Nico here. Just wanted to ask you. Raul already has 5 goals. He's looked extremely dangerous this season. What is it about this formation, or maybe this group of guys, that have put him in great positions just to start off this season?
It's nothing. Well, look, it's a team sport, so I guess I can answer your question. But Raul has put himself in good positions to score. The ball's been delivered to him so he can score. He had a couple extra chances. I thought he might have had a couple of, goals the last game. You know, but Raul's just a streaky goal scorer. He's, I don't know, what's the stat, Alex? 37 goals in 62 games. It's some ridiculous goal scoring record for the Seattle Sounders. So he does a lot of it on his own. He obviously has help. Will Bruin certainly has helped him. You know, Brad Smith, Alex Roldan, Christian, I mean, Nico. A lot of people have helped Raul score goals.
Coach, how hard was for you to speak in front of the media after the game when there were a mix of emotions? The two players from the academy playing, the goal, the Alex being as a goalie, and of course the two injuries, but and the massive win over the San Jose. How hard was for you to speak and celebrate?
It wasn't hard at all. It wasn't hard at all. I feel very comfortable in front of all you guys. You guys all asked me good questions, fair questions. I feel comfortable in front of the press. Sometimes your emotions run high after games. Certainly I was, you know, a little down just because of the two injuries. But, you know, I'm a human being. I am not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And maybe that's what you guys read into it. But, you know, I just want to defend my team, want to defend my players. And that was a big, big result, an emotional win for the club.
Thank you.
Hey, Brian, I don't think we haven't really had a chance to talk to you since Reed's signing was announced. Can you just give us a little bit of insight into a player I don't know that any of us have really seen extensively.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah,
guessing
love it,
you have a lot.
Jeremiah. Yeah, love it, Jeremiah. Thank you for that question. It's a good segue into something real positive. He's a great kid. He's a great kid for a lot of reasons. You want to talk about emotion, you know, in training, when he's in games. Like if he misses a goal opportunity, his emotions are, oh my God, I missed, you know, and he's so into the game. And then if his team scores, he'll run over to his teammates and give them high fives. And the kid just loves playing. It just shows in his game that he's really into the games. And so that's one. Number two, he's got a little bit of grit and determination in him as well. Like he doesn't like losing. He'll wear that emotion on his sleeve, which is right up the, you know, profile of a player for the Seattle Sounders. Technically pretty clean, Jeremiah. I think he needs to work on that, but obviously he's still very, very young. Good frame, good size. He grew like 3 inches in a year. And so we're working on him on his heading ability, both offensively and defensively, because I think, you know, he's going to score some goals for us in the air. And then just someone who has come and learned and soaked up information and wants to learn. He's really intuitive. So just a great all-around kid. And, you know, he's earned this shot because, you know, he kind of came out of nowhere. You know, last year when he first joined the first team training environment, we're like going, yeah, okay, all right, this kid's pretty good. And then we wanted to see if it manifested itself into this year. And then he had some ups and downs in preseason, Jeremiah. There was a few little bumps in the road, but, you know, we decided, you know, he's shown us enough and we're gonna make him the next signing.
Coach,
if I could go back to Frei a little bit, I wanted to know, I mean, through all the years that you've had him, have you ever thought of not starting him? Or was it always, we talk about his durability a lot. I mean, has there ever been a time when you thought of not starting?
There's been combination. There's been, you know, times, Jada, when we talked about Steph and playing him or not playing him. And certainly last year during a fixture congestion, we talked about it. But, you know, he wants to play. He wants to play every game. He has been durable. So we make those decisions as, you know, on a weekly basis. When the games come up, we say, okay, this is who's going to start. This is who's going to play. And these are the reasons why. And it's the same with goalkeeping.
Guys, we've got Christian Roldan on, so we're going to just take one or two more here for Brian, and we'll move over to Christian.
And can you talk a little bit about Frei Montero? Is this performance so far? Is that what you expected from a player coming back after so many years? And also, I think we've noticed some very good chemistry between Freddie and Raul when they score. It seems like they're two good buddies. Is there like special chemistry between these two?
Well, I think you have a very, very talented soccer player in Freddie Montero, and Freddie Montero can play with most of the other guys on our team. Freddie can make a lot of our players on the field better because he's a very good passer of the ball. You know, you saw some of his assists. I know Christian is listening in, but, you know, the ball he flips over for Christian to make the assist to Raul. I mean, Freddie's a tremendous player, and we're happy to have him back. Yes, the chemistry between Raul, Nico, Christian, JP, Freddie, you know, it's been very, very good. You can see it in the training ground on a daily basis, and that will translate itself onto the field. But Freddie's been great. Super.